Now I have that dirty song stuck in my head again.
Sorry, what?
What? My neck, my back?
Yep.
That was really good to start with. I'm really hoping the stream picked that up.
My back.
Nope.
My.
Nope.
Anyway,
Nope.
welcome to the. Let me get
Just
Twitch
talking about how I'm
on
getting
my
old
side
and
here.
all the things that hurt. My neck, my back.
Yeah, keep going.
No, ma'am.
my crack.
Girl.
See, I saved it.
Now I just want to
Did
make
you
a version
though?
of that
That's
song that's
saving?
just about being really like sore and injured all the time.
That's just being old.
Yeah, basically.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's excuse me, my microphone was not aimed correctly.
What happened?
To tonight's episode of Decisions and Dragons. When last we left our intrepid heroes, after leaving the Temple of Midgard Stormer, they had started to venture towards the harbor to the south, where they had encountered a small group of Armonites that seems to have been patrolling the shores of the Vanquished, looking for food, tribute, something. The party, in a very grueling battle, did away with these creatures, and were greeted by applause from a certain mad jester that had made his appearance known. Through a rather intense conversation, one of your party decided to accept this pact offered by Kefka. Flit, the young gnome sorcerer, had agreed to accept Kefka's power along with a coat of her own. And in exchange, he vowed that he would never, with his own hands, harm anybody in the realm. As long as Vecna and his horde had been removed from play, if you will. The pact was sealed. Kefka stated in a gleeful tone that he would then leave to gather information on the other dark lords of the land, as it were, and report back as soon as he had some more information for you. He did include information that Brotrak, Boykin's brother, was locked in a citadel, a quote, citadel of pain, lorded over by Diablos, a demonic prince. This citadel apparently functioned as a some sort of prison / torture chamber where Diablos enjoyed his time with his victims. That was where we left off. You can complete your long rest. You can have your conversation if you wish before the night officially passes. But Flit, you are now wearing this small, bright red and golden coat. Would you care to describe it, given that it is glamored and suited to your fancy?
So, it's kind of a gradient of like rainbow colors from the top down, but not just the 7 primaries, just about every shade in between as well. And the collar is probably ringed with like silver, and it has little stars on it, little starry patterns that are in colors that like stand out against the rainbow gradient of the coat. And yeah, it's just, I picture it kind of like a very well cut, like, brocade coat, and she's just admiring it for now.
Wawawiwa.
Yeah, Flit, you kind of move around a little bit and see that it is fitted perfectly to your gnomish frame.
Hey, there's a spell slot in here.
Is there? I'm just kidding.
But it says packed on it.
I
Yeah.
think that's the brand.
New from Pact. All All right. Any conversation or anything you guys wish to do before the rest of your long rest passes?
Oh, Chia just wants to go back to sleep. Specifically turning her back to the brightest and loudest coat she's ever seen in her life.
Yeah, same.
Rude.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because you've got all these like shimmery stars, so then the fucking light
great.
reflects off of it, so she's got to turn her back, otherwise it just keeps hitting her in the eye.
Boykin,
She'll pull her cloak of protection over it, so it's not like shining out in the night. She's not going to be the beacon.
That's sad.
Boykin is still definitely mostly unclothed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh god, did
I
Chio
almost
turn
forgot
over and
about-
just see that?
Yeah, she's like, oh, that's very bright. Oh, that's
Okay.
very naked.
he just does one of these. He's like, well, good night, everybody.
Oh!
Finds a nice comfy rock and puts his head on it and goes to sleep.
Oh,
Oh god, I feel like I need to
Grody.
cover that with a blanket.
No,
Or
it's too
anything.
warm. It's too warm out here.
It's gonna get
We're
colder.
really far north. It's actually quite cold.
Oh,
Judging by what I'm seeing, it's not.
maybe I'm just warm in here.
Sir, maybe you should just put your underpants on so we don't have to see your dangly bits.
I can still get
Oh.
a breeze.
No self-respecting dwarf wears underpants.
Isn't that quite uncomfortable with your armor? It would be very cold.
I want this party to know next time you play a dwarf, I want you to think of that statement.
World canon, dwarves don't wear underpants.
Yep.
I
Unless it's
mean,
like one of
Yep.
those like chastity
dwarves that
belts, like
don't mind a little chafing don't wear underpants.
Seriously. Imagine the sweat.
Hey, like I said,
I'd
just like
rather
one of
not.
those, chastity belts from Men in Tights. Like
Yeah.
it's all everything, just all metal. All
It's
the time.
all armor.
Oh, this is very uncomfortable.
What happens if you lose the key, though? Okay.
Hopefully, Robin Hood shows up then, or a
Wait, someone
locksmith.
knows the knock?
Locksmith!
Yeah.
Hopefully, Simon
Considering where the
Everlast.
key is most likely stored, I don't think you can lose it.
I have a lockpicking set that somebody could
Nope.
try.
Wow. Hard.
I ain't picking that
No.
lock.
The
No,
night.
I'm
You think
assuming
Cat
he
would
has
pick that lock?
like a long shirt on or something
Oh
to
my-
that effect.
I hope he wears like a sleep shirt.
Like a
Like
Like
Grandma
Ebenezer
thing. Grandma
Scrooge
nightgown.
sleep
Oh,
shirt.
like a little hat.
1957 Walt Disney World,
Yeah.
like
Just Winnie the
20
Poohing
XL.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just Winnie the Pooh. This is my favorite shirt.
Aw.
Oh, Jesus.
My grandma wears one like that.
It's the same one.
So anyway, good night.
How long were we awake when we were woken up from the whole?
The combat lasted, what, 2 or 3 rounds? I honestly would say maybe 10 minutes. 10,
Okay, so
15 minutes with the conversation.
Have
Mm.
we been up long enough to where we'd have to restart long rest completely?
No.
Okay, so I'd probably only have like another hour.
Alright.
Yep. Okay.
I'll sleep for as long as needed.
Yeah, I will resettle into, well, clean off my shit and settle down very gingerly and try and get another couple hours of peace before taking watch while the rest of them finish resting up.
Sounds good. Also, Dustin Ashen in the chat says, "What a majestic beard."
Thank you.
uh,
I do try.
the night passes without any further incident, and surprisingly, the wind dies down a little bit this next day. If it weren't constantly cloud cover, you would think it would actually be a pretty nice day weather-wise. Unfortunately, given the current state of the world that you are in, that is rarely ever the case. But you awaken, you get your full rest, so anybody who needs to regain your hit points or spell slots, you can do so. Um, and what's interesting is with the winds died down, you can actually hear the waves not too far off. And we will say, for the sake of time, you continue your travel. And as you approach the beach, you're met with this horizon where you can see the edges of what remains of the Dwarven Kingdom and Falcon Haven in the distance. You see the mountains sort of pierce into the clouds. No ship until you see this brilliant golden moat sort of rise from the water, maybe the size of a fist. And as it rises, it almost traces the image of a boat that slowly begins to materialize in front of you. And mimicking the coat, this ship that is constructed before you is bright red with golden, I guess I'm gonna say trim, but I know that that's not the correct word. Lining, if you will, where the sails are all different kinds of patterns, and the figurehead is the planesbreaker himself, holding what looked to be something like a hummingbird in his mouth. It is the gaudiest ship you have ever seen, but it looks relatively well constructed.
Kefka suddenly hears in his head, "Wow, Mr. Kefka, your boat is the prettiest thing I've ever seen."
Oh, thank you, little Flit. I consider it my pride and joy of the seas.
Just out of curiosity, um, are we gonna have to fish, or did you stock it for us as well? You know, with food and things. You have to go on a long journey after all.
Unfortunately, I was not able to conjure enough provisions. As for that, you may have to take up the fishing rod yourself.
I did that once. Almost got pulled in, but the fish was real big. I'll tell everybody else.
It was a really big bluegill.
And I'll just tell the group, he says that we have to conjure our own food and things, but his ship is his pride and joy, so I guess it probably runs well.
Thing's gonna get us killed.
At the very
I
least,
don't
it's
know.
going to get us
Either
spotted.
that or it's actively going to kill us.
Or worse, expelled. I don't know why.
Nobody asked you, Hermione.
You look and see a little girl with crazy hair just and then just stomp away.
Yeah.
Who
Oi, who was
pronounced
that?
I didn't know
that
you could
wrong?
talk.
So, I assume you all board the ship, or what would you guys like to do?
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah.
Dad.
Yes.
Malice. We talked yesterday about food and
Food.
water.
Yep. I
Yeah.
can do it.
I don't have to worry about that at least.
Yeah. I'll deal with that on the ship. Yes, I can make enough for us and Coco. And hope, yeah.
The moment you mention Coco's name, the axe beak just sort of their head snaps in your direction. Not threateningly, more just
Mhm.
it knows that sound, so it knows when you're talking about them.
Yes, you get food too. I don't
You
know
see
if
it
it's
almost like shrug back a little bit and then sort of nudge into Renolphus. almost like looking for validation.
I
I
just
don't know what he. I don't know what they eat, but I'm assuming conjured food is food, and they'll eat it.
uh do you, are you able to act like literally just conjure food?
Yeah, I can create food and water.
Then it's good enough for us.
A
Can't
convenient
promise.
skill to have.
It doesn't taste great, but it keeps you from starving and dehydrating and all those things. So
All
shall
right.
we go?
Oh,
All right. You all
Onward.
board the ship and see that it is remarkably clean, given the Mad Jester's presentation. It is well stocked and organized. Malice, you said you took proficiency in
I did.
sea vehicles, yeah? Okay,
I took proficiency in water vehicles and navigator's tools.
awesome, cool. Everything is as it should be on the ship. I will say, everybody else other than Malice, give me some sort of skill check to signify how you're helping. And Malice, I'll say, given that you are experienced and proficient, you can offer one of these people advantage with the help action.
Um,
Yeah, this is gonna require all of us to operate. I
Oh.
mean, yeah. I mean, does anyone have any?
I
Well, I
oh
think that
yes,
the taller people maybe should work on the sails. Is this a sailboat, assumingly?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, yeah. I guess it wouldn't be like a rowboat. That'd be really weird. But- yeah,
It's a really
yeah,
naughty ass
yeah.
rowboat.
It's just got a motor.
Yeah, it's
just a dinghy.
actually yeah,
I
it's
mean,
actually a
honestly,
cruise ship.
It's
honest.
It's a yacht.
Yeah, it's Carnival.
it's a
Uh,
pontoon boat.
There you go.
It's just like a
um,
20-foot pontoon boat.
well, I can help with pulling this rope, which will help with those sails up there. I think.
I'll take out my tinkerer's tools and I'll go around the ship making sure everything's in order, like the
Maintenance stuff.
steering and the rudder and anything that might need to be fixed via tinkering.
Okay. Make me an investigation check.
Cujo, can I, before she rolls, can my contribution be an holding bond
Yeah, totally.
at a D4?
That feature is fucking awesome.
So me handling a bunch of the ropes, would that be like an athletics check or acrobatics or just like maybe like a general
If you're assisting with
strength?
if you're
Because I'm
assisting
basically
with
like
rope,
pulling ropes, like
Yeah, making
you know how
sails do things.
yeah, like
I'll
going around like
say
those like pulley kind of things.
an athletics check sounds good. Pulley things. Well
Yeah, the
done.
bullet. Yeah, you gotta like tie them off in knots and stuff.
hmm
You know what? Malice's ancestors, not boat people. The knowledge she has is really cobbled together. It's though to be fair, the boat actually looks somewhat, closer to what she saw. So who knows?
21 investigation check.
Nice. Your investigation, everything is as it should be. You have all of the equipment that you need. You said you were checking for. I apologize. What specifically were you looking for as well?
So I guess my intent is to just like fine tune anything that would make the boat go a little faster, like uh adjusting a car, like tuning up a car before you leave on a trip, for
Okay.
example.
You go below decks and you can see that there are several crates and barrels. We are not sponsored by Crate and Barrel, just making sure that that's clear. That are available for storage. And you find a means of strapping them all together so that they don't move around as much. You also inspect the exterior of the ship, everything looks nice and tip-top shape. So it already looks mostly like it's ready to go. You move a couple things around, though, to ensure that it will.
Okay. And I'll relay that to Captain Malice.
I feel like I need a hat.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Hey, Sam, do I also get that extra D4?
Yeah, I'll give it to. I get 4 people, so everybody but
Oh.
Malice.
Okay.
Sweet.
Then Cujo, I rolled a 14.
14. Okay. You pull the lines with ease. However, the knot tying part, you kind of struggle with it a little bit, but with a little bit of time, you feel confident that they are secure after you pull the sails.
Haha, perfect. Sorry, my little fingers, they just don't really do well with these large ropes.
My stubby dick fingers. Sorry.
ew.
What is
The
happening
fuck?
today?
I don't. It's the what? Guys.
Yeah.
The what?
The rain.
Uh-huh.
It's the rain.
It's not even raining. It looks picturesque and beautiful now.
Oh, it started
raining
raining
here.
over here again.
It's pretty gray outside right now. Pretty depressing, actually.
I need an adult, says Ashen.
No adults here. Not
An
yet.
adult here,
You
adult.
came to the wrong place.
He certainly did.
But yes, you feel confident that all these sails are properly pulled and in place. Well done. Chio, what you doing?
Um, Can I do like a perception check just to try to essentially like help navigate
Yeah.
like what's happening out
Okay.
there?
You guys going to the
Yeah.
crow's nest?
Does this thing have a crow's nest that somebody can
Yes,
Yeah,
it
actually
she
does.
can
watch
go
out
there.
from?
She's not afraid of
Yeah.
heights like Thurston, so she can.
Or
Just the one.
Dermot?
I love when
Probably
you
just
rag
like-
on your own
And that's the
character.
crow's nest being like, 100 feet up further away from the water.
That's true.
It probably helps that she can like run up vertical surfaces and feather
Yeah, that
And
fall.
too.
like feather fall naturally, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. And she's a cat, so she lands on her feet.
Mhm.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can
Of
basically
course,
just
if she's-
parkour all up
Yeah.
and down.
She's a cat. She's gonna find the highest spot in the area
Yeah.
to sit. So yeah.
Go ahead and make me a perception check. That sounds good.
Oh, fuck you. That's a great natural one.
Plus a D4. Not that that's gonna help.
That's it's still
Like
a
a
10.
max of
Like
5.
that's not bad. I got double digits even with a natural one.
Okay. The distance to Falcon Haven looks to be about 4 days travel. From the crow's nest, you can obviously spot where Falcon Haven is, as it is somewhat of a lone mountain along the coast. And you can, well, from that distance, I would say you probably can't see much beyond that. But you can definitely pinpoint where it is and know the direction that you guys would need to move.
Cool.
All right. And Renulfus.
Since every time I thought I had an idea for something I might be able to do, someone else did that thing.
Including emboldening
going up,
bond? That's crazy.
including
Crazy!
emboldening bond. Since I am going to man the wheel, so that Malice doesn't have to navigate and do another thing. Just tell me what to do, boss. You're the expert here.
Okay.
And he can roll with advantage.
Okay. I will say. So technically, you'd be operating the vehicle, quote unquote. I will say, make me a dex check with advantage because you are being assisted by Malice.
Just straight dexterity.
Straight dexterity. Because do you have you don't have proficiency in water vehicles, correct? Okay. will
Not
say
unless
just-
this boat is made out of alchemist's supplies or dice.
And actually, with your wording, I will say, Malice, what's your proficiency bonus?
4
Plus
4.
4.
plus 4.
Add 2, given that Malice is giving you concrete direction at the same time as giving advantage with the help action.
Okay.
D4.
And a D4.
Well, hot diggity dog. That was a natural 1 and a natural 20.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Nice.
So that is a 26.
Okay. So, as you all prepare for travel, you set off after the anchor is retrieved from the depths below. We'll say that all of you together work to pull it back up. And
Oh, and I
you
sent
begin your-
Coco below decks.
Coco was already kind of like inching towards below decks.
Ujo, it is
Not
not
that
that kind of
kind
boat.
of
I mean, it,
Not
no,
that
it,
kind of
it
shit.
absolutely is that kind
We
of
are
shit.
not
That's
that
our
kind of crew.
OnlyFans.
That's Decisions and Dragons After Dark.
Yeah.
It's that After Dark special we got to run.
Oh, God.
Fucking hell. Anyway,
Classic.
you set out westward, and as you are, why are you not? Come on, Sirenscape, give me what I want. There we go.
Yeah, I signed off because it wasn't like linked again.
What the hell?
Yeah, I
Why is
can't
it
hear
doing
anything.
that? Sirenscape, why do you do this to me?
Hold on.
It says it's playing my account. Sorry, guys. Your token can live there, but I don't care. Show link. All right. I'm going to do this through the Facebook group. All right. Hopefully that'll link everybody finally. I suppose it's a good time to mention Sirenscape is a fantastic ambient sound program for if you're running your D&D or tabletop games. They have sound sets for Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and even Cyberpunk. So definitely look into their stuff. There's the plug. Hopefully it
They don't
works.
sponsor us, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know.
I'm definitely
did it-
linked. I just don't hear anything.
Ooh. Why are you doing this to me? Well, we will look into this at some point here. I apologize. As you guys travel, you can see just below the waves landforms, and you call that when the world was broken, that there was an unbelievable light, burning light, piercing from the skies above that had torn apart the land. Chio, I don't think that you would have, if anything, your people would have recognized some things going on, but not have been able to see anything.
Sure.
But those in the region will know that the quote unquote light of judgment was bestowed by Vecna himself and had carved through several large land masses, seemingly slicing the land wherever he liked, causing the Terrafan Empire to become drowned and cleaving the Dwarven kingdom into, sinking the northern half. Renalphus, it's good that you rolled so high. As everybody is pointing out, you can see mountain peaks sort of barely visible in the waves, just beneath the waves. And you managed to maneuver through the waves. Oh my god, I can't talk! Maneuver between the land masses to avoid any damage to the ship. As you continue forward, the picture of Falcon Haven becomes a little bit more clear. and you can see in the irregular shoreline that there is something of a harbor that had been set up not too far north of Falcon Haven. You could see maybe 3, maybe 4 smaller ships. It's clear that the dwarves have holed up a little bit and focused their efforts underground to find means of survival, while they do have this ever expansive refugee camp that sort of sprawls out in front of the mountain. The ship grows closer, and I'll say, Chio, you can spot from the crow's nest that there are a handful of dwarves and 1 or 2 humans that are staring at the ship as it approaches, almost stunned still as they see this gaudy, bright, entirely out of place sailing ship approach their harbor.
I think it would be appropriate to send word ahead. There's someone we can do that to, Boykin?
Boykin will go to the. Are they kind of off to the side, or we're approaching the dock? Like
At this
head-on,
point, you
or-
guys are approaching the docks of Falcon Haven.
Okay. Here, let me go handle this. I go toward the front of the ship and kind of climb up on the planesbreaker himself and give a hello, ahoy there, and other nautical terms. I do say and other nautical terms.
Make a persuasion check.
Kafka's just face palming.
No, he's not.
He's Chuckle Fox.
Yeah, he's got fucking popcorn and is on the edge of his seat watching this travesty.
I could ask him. He talks to me in my head now.
13.
That's disturbing.
I mean, you
Well,
talk
you
back
got
to
that
him?
on yourself.
Sometimes.
Honestly?
Sometimes I try to say good morning every day. Sometimes he sounds real grumpy.
It'll grow on him.
Boykin, you said a 13 or 14?
13.
13. With a 13, you wave and you can spot that some of the dwarves recognize you. And even though they recognize you, they also recognize the boat. And they look to each other with a little bit of a tense exchange before they guide your boat towards the dock. And after a few moments, the ship coasts into the harbor. The anchor is lowered.
Bring it on in.
They've got the glowing
I was gonna say, do they got the
pinion
things?
They hold it in X when you're in position. But the anchor lowers, and you can hear voices coming from the dwarves and the humans. As Boykin, I'll say you're still paying attention. You can see that some of them do grab their sword and just make sure it's at their side, just in case, as they wait for the gangplank to be brought out.
Oh, no need for those, boys. It's totally fine. Same team. It's all good.
Same team.
Are
Right.
we though?
Ah, come on off the ship. Let's go.
Do you all disembark at the same time?
Boykin
Okay.
does.
Okay.
How high is
go
it
ahead.
off the dock? I'm sorry. How
You
high
hopping
is it?
are you hopping the boat like just over the?
I'd say it's about 15 feet up.
Yeah, Boykin's not going to do that.
Man, 15 feet, that's only 2d6 fall damage.
Yeah, it's fine.
And that's only if
1d6
you
for
don't
you.
stick the landing.
That's like 1d6 for you. Aren't you like 7 feet tall?
Isn't that just like walking
At
off?
15 feet,
Like-
I can just step off the boat.
No, it's fine, Boykin. You can totally jump if you want to. I'm just kidding. You all step off of the boat and are greeted by 3 dwarves and 1 human. It seems that the other dwarf and the other human have started traveling back to Falcon Haven. But the greeting party, one of which steps forward, a younger dwarf, bright red beard, somewhat. He's very clearly young, as it hasn't touched his chest yet.
Poor
Sort of
bastard.
shorter hair, maybe about this length. He's got the 90s part going on right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He looks a little rough and tumble, but he kind
Times
of
is hard.
keeps a weather hand at his hammer at his side and says, welcome back, Boykin. I thought you had left already.
I did. And this is just part of the journey. You wouldn't believe it if I would tell you. So maybe over a nice ale at some point we can talk about how me and my friends just disappeared into these mists and ended up in another location. You know how magic is and all. It be like that sometimes.
As you gesture to your friends, the dwarves and the human are scanning, and their eyes settle on Ranulphus and Coco. And you see their attitudes just shift slightly. And the dwarf that had been speaking says, one thing at a time, Boykin. How did you come upon this ship?
Well, it was given to us as a gift.
And that would be by...
Oh, go ahead.
I put a hand on Boykin's shoulder.
Mm.
And how far away are we from these dwarves we're talking to?
Well, I'm like 5 feet, but you're more like a 20 feet, but it's like 5 feet to you. Like
You guys have essentially like just stepped off of the gangplank, and they are maybe 10 feet away.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just gonna put a hand on Boykin's shoulder and hope that he intuits what I wish I could say without the other dwarves hearing me.
Well, Boykin, I leave that to you if you would register what Ranulphus is implying with this action.
Do you want to roll like an insight check?
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's do that. That'll be better than.
Yeah.
Is that okay, Kujo?
Totally. Yeah.
Ah, very good. 17.
I'd say it's pretty obvious.
Less is more. Less is more.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. We pretty much just came upon this ship, and no one has taken it from us. So it was the only ship over where we were, and that's how we ended up with it.
I will need
really...
a deception check. I'll say with disadvantage, given that prior you did say it was a gift, and the
gods.
dwarves are already a little uneasy.
It's not
Gift from the sea.
Oh, the ground.
The ground didn't give us a ship. Gift from the sea.
Yeah.
Boats go on the water, Cujo.
So
God.
that's a 10.
First roll with my pretty new dice. Let's see how they do. See if they like you.
One.
The dwarves. What?
Oh, than just your face.
Is
The dwarves look to each other. You know whose ship this belongs to, right?
yeah,
It belongs to
it's
us
pretty.
now.
Yeah, it belongs to us.
A little
Lit
gaudy.
is
Isn't it pretty?
purposely
Look at this.
hiding.
Joe, I try
Look at
to
this trim.
emphasize that it belongs to us now.
Yeah.
As in, we have claimed ownership of it.
You wouldn't believe what we had to go through to get said ship.
Okay.
Lit and her very
Renalphus?
vibrant coat are kind of hiding behind Malice's legs at this point.
Sounds good. Renalphus, give me an intimidation check. I'll say with advantage.
With advantage?
Yes.
Well, I rolled a 19.
Shit. Okay.
So that's 18.
Well, yeah, you're speaking as opposed to physically. Yeah, that's fine. The human that's with the group, sort of similar to Renalphus, placing a hand on Boykin's shoulder, puts their hand on the dwarf's shoulder. You see them murmur something before the dwarf shakes his head. Well,
Now, share with the class.
Yeah, we've been pretty truthful over here with you.
well, that ship belonged to the Mad Jester. So, rightfully, we have our place to be a little uneasy. Apologies for the confusion. Where are you headed now?
We are heading to the
No.
mountains just west of Iagarth. That's where we got some information saying that my brother is there. You know
All right.
Brotrack. He's an
Ugh.
idiot.
Yeah, all the dwarves go, ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
we all
little
know
rough around the
Brotrack.
but he's
Dumb
but
as
he's
a
still
sack of rocks.
one idiot. But I love him anyway.
All right, well, you'll probably need some supplies. Come on, we'll get you over to Falcon Haven, get you all suited up. You see that their
Thank you kindly.
demeanors, they relax a little bit, but they still have this little bit of a tension regarding Renalphus and Coco. And they sort of split and lead you off onto the onto the shore itself, onto the Jesus. That's right. I slapped my microphone and I said Jesus. That's what happened there. Anyway, but as you step off of the docks, you can see that they do have a few ramshackle buildings, very clearly some sort of storage sheds. There's one larger, very shoddily put together building. It looks to be like a bunkhouse of some kind. It's pretty clear that this is a group of volunteers from the Dwarven Kingdom to keep an eye on the shores. So that's sort of what their role has been for the last 10 years or so.
When once we are off the ship,
Mhm.
is it as we are walking away? Is it still there?
Yes, it is
Okay.
still there.
It does
I
not
was-
turn into a little.
It does not.
Okay.
It still remains.
I was meaning to ask that because, like, if it was like mid conversation, like, what ship? And then it's just like gone.
That would have been fantastic. No, it does remain there.
In all its gaudy glory. Okay. Wonderful.
Yes. Speaking of which, Flit, you do hear.
Should you ever need my boat once more, just simply say the word and point at a reasonable sized body of water, and it is yours once again.
Okay. I don't think we're going to be sailing for a bit, but I'm sure we'll use it in the future.
Sounds wonderful. And don't worry, I have precautions in place should anyone try to do away with it while you are away.
I
Don't
don't think that
worry,
they're gonna.
nothing lethal.
I don't. I didn't get the impression that they wanted to take your boat. Just we're wondering how perhaps we got it.
That's fair. I suppose it's got a bit of a reputation.
I think they were a little too scared of Mr. Renalvis to ask more questions.
It's valid. Bugbear. In that part of town? I would recommend your friend possibly wearing a hood of some kind. There are some judgmental types among the dwarves, I've learned.
I mean, I don't think I should tell him that because who am I to tell somebody what to wear?
Valid. I couldn't agree more.
I was trying to think of a way to bamboozle them, though, just to move on.
Keep that little spark of chaotic energy in you. I find it so invigorating.
Hmm.
You are all led to the outskirts of Falcon Haven. I suppose I can do away with the sound of a beach. Oh, son of a bitch. Didn't need to do that. No, go away. Okay, there we go. On the outskirts of the mountain, you see. Actually, anybody who's been to the human kingdom prior to the reckoning, if you will, would recognize this scene as there are hundreds, possibly thousands of tents and small camps that are set up outside the mountain, which is Falcon Haven. A city built into the mountain. You can see its stone gates are closed at the moment, but several, probably dozens of dwarves constantly patrol not only the gates, but also the surrounding camp as well. As it seems that there are a large number of elven refugees from the Terrafan Empire who have sort of taken up shop and found a resting place on the outskirts of the mountain itself. You can spot several large openings in the mountain where there is smoke coming from within. The forges, it seems, still do burn hot. And there is a constant hustle and bustle of activity of the citizens of this huge, huge refugee camp that is outside the city. The dwarves and the human lead you to they sort of have to wind through the maze-like roads, quote unquote, towards one of their way stations, where you can see they've got a very small cart. It's very clearly meant to move like uh, somewhat medium to large size boulders out of the way. You can see that they've got some survival packs. They've got some very ramshackle suits of armor, some weapons here and there, climbing equipment, all sorts of things. But they do sort of lead you to the way station, say whatever information or whatever supplies you may need. They're yours to do with what you will. Do you have any special requests?
Are you sure you don't need this stuff?
Just letting us resupply.
I feel like there's a lot of people out there who might benefit from this more than us.
Well, that might be true. This is the supplies that we, as the guard of the camp, do rely on. But given that one of our own has been taken, a hammer throw, no less. And you see, he says that with a little bit of sass, but not like in a confrontational way. Given that this is a hammer throw that was taken, we have been instructed by the royal family to support in any way that we can. So, whatever you need, we shall supply you.
And considering what we expect to find in those mountains, we'll need all of the help we can get.
You see the dwarf kind of eye you up and down. Right.
Well, what
And he
do
turns back
we
to
need?
Something on your mind, dwarf?
Mm,
multiple things. Your kind typically don't venture this far north.
And you're
We
gonna be
keep
very
ourselves
welcome.
we keep ourselves quite busy defending your lands from the Whispered Horde. You're
Hmm.
welcome,
Was
by
that
the way.
was that the case before Vecna and the Whispered Horde showed up? No, I don't believe it was. If anything, you were trying to expand northward, and we consistently had to send battalions southward to deal with you and your people.
And in whatever case, that's not the case now. And he's my ally, which means he is also yours. So treat him with some respect.
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
I will
I peed a
slap
little
this.
hearing that.
I will slap this royal.
We've already made enough comments about Boykin's dangly bits.
Natural 20. So
Oh,
20
shit.
to 21.
He is indeed slapping
Oh,
it.
it's
All
Yes,
right.
he is.
it's warmed up over here.
You make this proclamation, and the not only the dwarf that you were speaking with, and not only the other members of his little group, but also those within about 15 feet hear this, and there's a lull in the sound around you before the dwarf. I apologize.
Just remember who you're talking to first off. You understand? We're trying to help. And your attitude doesn't help. Go sit in your tent and think about what you were doing. Go. Someone take his place.
The younger dwarf. The younger dwarf. All right, Chef Ramsay.
Yikes. Yeah.
You out.
Yeah. Fuck off.
The dwarf is dismissed, and you see the human step forward. I'm sorry, sir. I will assure you we will not be of any further delay with any support we can offer. What
And
supplies do you need?
we will do our best not to take a bunch of these supplies. We will only take the bare minimum that we need, okay? We
That's
know that you
appreciated.
need these too. I don't want anybody going around thinking the hammer throws are just taking food out of people's mouths. Everybody's struggling these days. And that's why we're trying to solve the problem. So whatever help. And
Thank you.
he kind of looks at the group and he's like, "Yeah, whatever we need.
What do we need?
I know definitely food. What
I mean,
exactly is there?"
I can do. I can take care of food as long as we don't mind bland
It,
food. I
it
mean,
might be helpful if we had, well, not all of us have a cocoa.
Is there uh having never been this far north, what's the environment like? Is there opportunity for hunting?
Make a nature check.
Is there any horses that we could use?
Yes, we can bring some horses. How, would you all need one separately?
I'm good. And I can
Yeah,
potentially have someone
I
else.
can just walk. You know, we dwarves are natural sprinters and whatnot.
Yeah, of course. Actually,
15, Cujo.
Okay. With a 15, immediately around Falcon Haven, there really is not very many animals that you can see in there, whether it's birds flying overhead. Given how many people are here, um, it seems to have driven off a lot of the uh, um, nature that's in the area. That being said, you can sort of look in the distance in the direction that you were heading. and you venture. It might be some slim pickings, but you might be able to make do with some of the wildlife you would find on your journey through the mountains itself. The human mutters an order to one of the dwarves, who shuffles off and returns with 3 machinations, somewhat looking like horses. You see that while the Dwarven Kingdom was ravaged by the Reckoning, their ingenuity with some gnomish technology has flourished. As you can see, 3 mechanized beasts approaching, somewhat shorter than horses, um, made of rusted metal and wood, but they do function as mounts, complete with a saddle and some slight levers that you would control just on the back of the neck.
Oh, those are brilliant.
Yeah, it turns out dwarves can't really fit on full-size horses, so we had to get a little creative with some of the gnomes that made their way here.
They are fine. They are fine beasts. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're all yours. Unfortunately, we would offer more, but it seems that some of the others were malfunctioning. They're currently being repaired at this time.
Whatever you're able to spare, we greatly appreciate.
Just mechanically speaking, these mounts, typically when mountain climbing on sheer cliffs and whatnot, horses would incur some sort of travel penalty. These are almost engineered to alleviate that, so you won't end up dealing with that. However, you will have to figure out how to divvy your party up, as it can only fit. I would say Ranulphus, if you were trying to ride one, I understand you have Coco, you would have to take one your own. I would say, given the size categories, Flit, you could sit with a medium-sized creature. But these are meant to house a singular medium-sized creature.
What's their speed?
Their speed is... What's a normal horse's speed?
A
50.
riding horse, I think, is 60 feet.
Yeah.
A draft horse is 40.
These are going to run at 50 feet then.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Coco runs at 50 feet.
I'm almost as fast as the horse.
Yeah.
Monks, man.
Give me another level or 2, and then I will be as fast as the horse.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's just do that. No, I'm not fucking doing that again. That will not repeat itself.
I won't be able to learn teleport via plants this time.
That's
It'll
true.
be fine.
That's
No,
true.
we're just
Yeah, it's just
dealing with
regular teleport.
yeah. We're just dealing with horse-like travel from one place to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Is there
brought this on
anything-
yourself.
I know, I clearly did. Is there anything else that you guys would need?
Climbing equipment. If we're
Climbing equipment.
Mhm.
approaching this thing from the ground.
Yeah. 6 sets of climbing gear. I would also like a quiver of arrows and 2 pints of oil.
Okay.
Okay.
The 6 sets of climbing gear are given freely. And yeah, you do come to a full quiver of arrows. It's about 60 arrows in there, so it's kind of a larger one.
Perfect.
And you do come to 2 flasks of oil.
Is there anyone around who knows the mountains?
I do myself. Did you need a guide of some kind?
Maybe not necessarily a guide, but at least some guidance I think would be helpful. I
Sure.
don't really know. We have a general sense of where we're going, correct? But it'd be helpful to know if there are any paths that should be avoided, maybe, or shortcuts that perhaps others don't know of. I imagine your
Um,
people may have found some ways through the passes that you've kept secret over the years. Could really use we could really use that right now.
yeah, of course. Yeah, do you have a map by chance?
Yes, we have a map.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have a map. Who has our map?
I would assume I would probably have one of
Yeah.
this particular land.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah. Ha
Yes.
Ah.
The human draws a very haphazard line from Falcon Haven, almost maze-like through the mountains, and then asks, "You're headed? Wait, west of Eogarth? You headed to the Citadel?"
Yes, sir. Yeah, Brotrack really got in some shit this time. That dum-dum.
I don't know why he was given a post, if I'm being honest. My apologies. I know that that's a little rude
No,
to say,
you're fine.
sir.
No, it's fine. You're totally fine. It's the truth. It's the truth. Let's be honest. Like,
She just leans over to Arsinoe because they've both been really quiet this whole time. Is it common to speak of your family in this manner in this land?
Not my family. I don't know about the dwarf though.
Oh,
Maybe.
interesting. And she goes back to like right because she's been like subtly writing notes as like people have interacted. Like, interesting anthropological note. Like, interesting way this culture works.
Seem to have strange familiar names for each other.
If you're heading that direction, you may need to talk to Kalen. He's a hunter. I don't know if you hammer throws would have interacted with him. His family was ostracized quite some time ago.
oh,
But
good.
from what I understand, he is well versed in the surroundings of the Citadel. He might be able to give you some more information. I
I'm
can
not-
send someone to collect him if you'd like.
I mean, we can. Is it a
Maybe-
problem if we show up where he is? Is he?
I don't think so. For the rest of you, Sir Boykin, I don't know how he would react to a Hammerthrow's presence. I would say just don't announce yourself to him. He's a little angry.
What did you do, Mr. Boykin?
Well, I didn't do anything. Clearly, he did something. Is this really the hammer throw's fault? That's all I'm saying.
Boykin, make a history check.
I want to make an insight check
Okay, go ahead and make an insight check.
against Boykin.
Okay.
15.
15. Okay.
Mhm.
With a 15, you remember hearing rumors when you were younger of a dwarven noble family that the father figure was serving as honor guard to the king. That when tasked with a particular mission, had refused to carry it out, and as such was banished from the kingdom and had never been seen again. And the stain of honor upon the family had essentially removed them from their noble standing. So they were essentially demoted to second-class citizens. You may have heard a rumor that the Hammerthrow family may have been involved with the decision-making to demote them. And Renalphus, what was your insight check?
19.
19.
What I'm trying to gauge is like how quick was he to say, what could we have possibly done? And to gauge whether or not that seems like a something he finds himself defending against often.
Boykin, I leave that to you to answer.
Well, apparently in this particular area, it seems that I am having to defend the old hammer throw name. But to be honest, I'm so disconnected from the day-to-day things with just my normal duties, that I don't know about all the politics. Basically, is what your insight check would.
I see.
And
But
what was the name of this person again?
Kalen,
And their last name?
Drakon.
The Drakon. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he is assisting some of the refugees. Sort of functions as an unofficial hunter and gatherer while he explores the mountains. Um, I believe he had stated at some point that he did come upon the citadel and some of the creatures surrounding the base. He might be able to offer some assistance. I don't know.
All
Not hurt
right.
to try,
Yeah.
or I mean, at least not that badly.
Thank you for the information. It's much appreciated.
Of course. We're here if you need anything else. Just say the word. He typically, and he gives you directions to the small watering hole / bar that was set up amongst the refugee camp that he typically frequents.
Now, the camp behind us, or that we're in currently, right? There's how many tents roughly?
Possibly thousands of them.
Thousands?
This is huge. Yes. Yeah.
So is this like almost like an entire city outside the walls?
Yes.
How do as we've walked through the city, how do the people here look
They.
in terms of like general, I guess general demeanor, um, but also just sort of health wise.
Make a perception check.
24 with natural 20.
24. Nice.
Damn.
With a 24, you can see that they're healthy-ish. It's clear that a lot of the citizens are kind of struggling to make sure that they get some decent food in their bodies, that they're getting some decent rest. You can see that there is a lot of hustle and bustle. There's lots of people moving in between groups, sort of functioning as almost like a message carrying system. They're essentially trying to find things to do to support this huge city that they have sort of founded outside Falcon Haven. While their health might be a little bit on the rougher side, a large number of them are like a step above just I don't want to say wallowing because that sounds so terrible, but they're making it work. They're finding purpose, they're finding function, which is sort of bolstering their spirits a little bit. You will occasionally see a family or two that are not doing so well as you guys are sort of observing your surroundings.
Okay. But in general, it looks like they're doing what they can to establish some sort of normalcy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Should maybe, I don't know, one of us go into this place, do you think? Don't really want to cause too much of a disturbance if there's going to be, I don't know, shooting or stabbing or the throwing of things.
Oh,
Is
what
there
time
gonna
of day is it?
See, it's a little bit before noon, so it's still early on in the day.
It's early enough for us to simply start on our journey and still make decent headway.
It might be a good idea to get on our way before nightfall so we can prepare just in case those things come back.
even without the information that this Kalen could provide?
Well,
Well,
where would be if he is a hunter? Would he not most likely be in the direction we're likely going, not in the camp itself?
Well, he said he was usually could be found over in the bar.
Oh, I thought the guard said that he could be found at the bar. I must have misheard it. Never mind.
If you need anything, I'll be at the bar.
Right,
I'll be
that's
right-
how I heard. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'll be-
He's in a
I'll be right back,
dwarven
guys.
area. I get it.
or dwarves live at the bar. Like I don't understand what the
Oh,
issue
yeah,
is here.
this 100% fits the stereotype that Chio understands of dwarves and humans. Yes.
Oh, okay. Obviously, he's at the bar.
Them stereotypes, though.
I'm just saying, if we could at least stop and check, perhaps. If we don't, we're not going to have another chance. And I can't imagine that we're going to find a lot of people who venture into this region.
A fair enough assessment.
So what's the plan? What you guys doing?
We're heading to the bar.
Arsenaway, what are you doing while this is all happening?
She is maybe a little distracted. Looking at, just kind of keeping an eye, just watching all the refugees. And just kind of, she's following everybody, but just kind of taking stock of this whole, like, this huge camp. Just kind of watching. Not like staring, but just kind of thinking it all.
Okay. So what's the plan?
The longer we stay here, the more
Well-
questions we have to answer. So I think we should go.
And this hold on, I pulled that. Kalen, is he at the bar or?
The guard that you were speaking with did state that he typically does reside there in between his hunting trips.
Okay. And sorry,
You're good.
I walk away there for a second. Did you guys head over to the bar or
Not yet.
not yet?
That is the debate.
Well, I say, we can head over there and
A small
some quick-
investment now in information can potentially make the travel much easier.
agree.
Especially if we can procure this individual as a guide of sorts, either directly or indirectly.
Seems a solid plan to me.
Then to this bar then. And
All
I'll
right.
start making my way over there.
Making my way.
I'll head toward there as well, but I don't necessarily go inside. So
Maybe
stay out of sight.
Alice. Gio? Go in. The rest of us stay out. Just in case. Not to overwhelm anyone. We are a rather large group.
Who you calling large?
You!
Was that not clear?
Excuse me, I have to say it louder so you'll hear me.
Because you're
Oh,
so
boy.
far up
It's like yelling up to
there.
a skyscraper.
All right.
Yeah, sure. Anything specific that anyone, if he's here, wants us to ask? Or should we just try and bring him out?
Ideally, if he can be hired as a guide, that would be easiest and most productive. Otherwise, we really just need to know, what we are likely to encounter.
If he's run into any hunting, hunting.
No, hunting is probably the correct term, just in a slightly different sense.
Yes. Hunting packs, if he noticed any sort of pattern to their movements, any natural
has a-
landforms that we can take as cover.
In terms of hiring, what exactly are we willing to offer?
She was not going to say
so
out loud, but she's thinking, we could have offered him a really big freaking
Yeah,
jewel,
sure.
but.
I'm just
No!
what do we actually have?
That's a good question because I think I'm showing I got 20 gold.
Okay.
Didn't we? No, we got gold. Unless not
We
everyone put it in
got-
their.
We got gold.
Thing.
I have 200 plus gold on my person.
Okay.
Joe, did we get gold when we create a character creation?
It would be in your
rolled.
Yeah,
starting
like-
equipment.
That's
Oh,
it?
like in
Starting
addition?
equipment in your background.
I'm asking because the number in my inventory is rather high.
We did.
Mm.
We rolled. There, it's in the Facebook chat, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
I must
remember
have.
that.
Okay.
Yes.
We did get addition. Okay, so that's accurate.
Okay.
Yes.
Roads.
Okay.
'Cause
I'm like, oh,
I'm looking
I
at my
got
number. I'm
cash.
like, that's a lot of cash. I don't remember having that much.
Also, keep in mind, you guys did find some gold.
Yeah, I don't think we
and
did
other funds in the temple.
I don't think we
Yeah.
divvied that out yet.
No, we just kind of dumped that in
Yeah,
the bag.
it's
I have a
in a
record of that too.
collective
I did too.
Yeah.
savings account.
Yeah, collective savings where it's earning like no interest, but you know.
That's
Easy,
what a
easy
savings
there,
account
Thurston.
does.
We
How
haven't
many,
called Thurston yet.
How much gold did we actually get?
We got it was
82
like
gold.
82 gold.
34
electrum.
electrum.
Asshole.
100 silver, 30
Wait, what?
copper.
It's an old temple. Of course, there's gonna be old currency. What do you want from me?
If we give this guy Electrum, it's going to destroy any sort of economic system of this refugee camp. No
Actually,
one's gonna
greatly
know what to do with
disapproves.
it.
It's actually we're actually gonna like decrease our reputation with them. Like
Yeah.
there's gonna be these fuckers brought us Electrum. this is worse than nothing.
Hi, welcome to CarMax. How can I help you today? Well, I have this 13 drachma. Can I use it to rent a car for a day?
Yeah. Okay. Now, assuming that this guy doesn't want money,
Perhaps.
I could put in a good word for him.
Maybe.
are you willing to do that?
Of course. I have very
have
little
the-
recollection of what actually happened outside of. It sounds like maybe his family didn't fully fulfill an oath, but I mean that sounds like that was a long time ago. I mean, time should heal everything, right?
Okay. I'm just saying that money might not be of much use here, but if we can,
Perhaps
Yeah.
we simply ask him what would be of most value
Mhm.
in his situation and
I
regroup
just
to discuss.
okay. Just don't want to bargain away anything that nobody wants. So, okay. I guess hopefully we won't get, shot or thrown out the door.
Well, just yell if you do.
I'm sure you'll hear us coming through, literally.
All right. You follow the guard's directions and come upon a very ramshackle, hastily thrown together, barely staying standing bar. Big quotes around that. No fancy name. It is very clearly function over form. And as you step inside, you can see that there are a few smaller tables. The bar itself looks to be splintered and roughly put together. You can see some tieflings actually in one corner at one table, just sort of dressed in similar garb than the other refugees you've seen in the area. The bartender is a bald elf who is sort of lazily moving back and forth, trying his best to keep everything as clean as possible. And at the bar, you see a dwarf. This dwarf is a little bit shorter than Boykin. He has long, dark,
Is there like
dread.
coronavirus in
Okay,
this bar?
Jesus Christ, coughing.
Damn.
Typhoid Mary?
It is a
Apparently,
refugee camp?
shit. There we go.
I
I
mean,
turned off the sick people sound
you.
set. That was a little intense.
I was paying attention to that. They didn't seem that sick when we walked by.
Right? Like, both healers were like heads
Yeah.
on a swivel.
Yeah, we would have stopped.
Guys, it's fine. Someone is just allergic to axe beaks.
Oh, poor Coco.
Oh,
Yeah, I will say, as you are traveling through, Coco is head on a swivel, constantly sort of twitching and moving around. And
Oh yeah.
everybody that you're passing by, they open the streets up. They're not getting anywhere near that shit.
Good.
This
Coco's a good
dwarf,
bird. Doing her job.
this dwarf is wearing very, I would say, dirty leather armor. It's very ramshackle. They have long, dark locks that are almost like cornrows that sort of hang off of the back of his head. And he's nursing from a very rough tankard, clearly some sort of ale. He has this large crossbow that is sort of compacted and strapped to his back. And as you step through, he turns and you can see he is completely clean shaven. And you can actually see several scars and marks across his cheek and his chin.
how
And he
old?
just kind of goes,
Or at least appearance-wise, in comparison to Boykin.
he definitely looks younger. Not by much, but younger.
Okay.
His wrinkles and grays haven't set in yet, so he's definitely got probably about a decade or so before he'll reach Boykin's age. Turn off the big dogs sound set. But he sort of regards who was entering. It was Malice and who?
Yo.
Chio. He sort of, all the patrons and even the bartender do kind of glance at the elf and the shifter that have stepped through. Their eyes sort of hover over Chio for a moment and her strange garb before they just sort of go back to their business. The dwarf returning to staring at the bottom of his tankard. The elf behind the bar says, would you like a a drink. We've got some ale. I think we have a bottle of whiskey.
What's he drinking? She just nods to the dwarf.
That's just ale. It's one of our last casks that we have left. We're supposed to be getting another shipment soon. I don't know when, but
You know what? Save the ale.
all right.
We're actually looking for, well, we're looking for Kalen.
As you say the name, the bartender looks to the dwarf, who sort of turns and glances in your direction. Yeah.
You're him.
Yeah. And he takes a drink.
They said you know the mountains around here? Heading south.
Yeah.
Would you mind having a conversation with us?
Just so happens that conversation is one of my finest trades. So if you have something to trade for the conversation, I'd be all about it.
What is of value here? Clearly, we are not from around here.
I'd say he does a little up and down. 5 gold.
And 5 gold gets us all the information that we need.
5 gold gets you a conversation. Whatever information you need, we can sort of discuss from there.
Sounds great. Malice just literally pulls out 5 gold and just hands it over.
The thirsted in me was like, negotiate!
No.
I saw a little twitch out of Rhodes there.
Write
Yeah,
up a contract.
No. She has a no idea. Like, I mean, she understands money, but it's basically like, I don't understand why this gold thing is worth more than this really pretty rock. So, like, yeah, okay, if he wants to have 5 of these, that's fine. I mean, I don't see what's so great about them, but here.
He kind of gives this expression like, wow, all right. He like almost like he's surprised that you would fork it over. He takes the gold and pockets them,
Minus the gold from my shit.
picks up his tankard and moves to one of the tables, and there are a couple other chairs for you to sit at. Then he sort of gestures.
Okay.
Perhaps we should just be to the point.
I like that.
We're heading to the Citadel. A rescue mission of sorts. I gather that, yes, it is a laughable.
We're probably
and
going to
lofty
die.
goal.
I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, you probably are.
but we'd like to delay that as long as possible.
Okay. If you want to delay it, you could just not go to the Citadel.
Yeah, that's not actually an option.
Rescue mission, huh? Who
Indeed.
got captured?
A lot
A
of people.
friend's brother. And, well, honor dictates that we must assist.
Funny thing about honor, it gets you killed more than it gets you the assistance. But my fee just went up.
Fair.
To simply talk about the mountains?
You're talking about some pretty dangerous information, given that nobody else has gotten as close as I have, and I have a particular expertise in the matter. I'd say another 5 gold would probably get you the information that you're looking for.
Oh, yeah. I think that's completely fair.
Fine. She'll hand over the 5 gold.
God, this bastard's so lucky I'm not in the room. I'd have knocked his ass out weeks ago.
This is why you are outside.
You also probably don't fit.
I'm not sure how if we
Ceiling's
fit,
pretty low.
we might be really uncomfortable right now, like little kid
Oh,
tea
yeah.
party style.
So can I just reach in through the window and just grab this guy by his collar?
You could do that, but the problem is you'd be reaching through and then out the other window and then grabbing some rando.
Damn it.
It's
Just
like
put
a
him back.
dating
Sorry,
game.
dude.
I'll just keep pulling these fuckers out of here like gnomes out of a bag.
Gnomes
That's
out
racist.
of
There are
bag.
probably gnomes here too.
It's 2022. We can't make gnome jokes.
Oh my god, you can't just talk about pulling gnomes out of a bag.
Yeah. God.
Is it okay if they're red caps?
Yes.
Yeah, red caps are assholes.
That's fair.
They're not even the
All right.
worst, though.
Kaylin reaches across and palms the 5 more gold and puts them in the same pocket. Ask away.
Well, I'll ask our first question. What would it take for you to escort us as far as possible?
Now that's a pretty steep one. I suppose it's a choice. I would say dealer's choice. Either 150 gold or you would owe me a favor. No questions asked. You couldn't say no.
Because honor would dictate that I keep my word.
Of course. Honor is what makes the world go round, isn't it?
Where I'm from.
I won't ask. I don't really care.
And where are you from?
So,
If we are potentially to spend time together, and if I would have to invest that much of my funds in order to acquire your services, exactly who are you?
well, to answer your first question, he just points at the ground. This building used to be my family home before, well, we got banished from the mountain. Dad took off. Mom took off after Dad, so I had something to, I had some time and a few business ideas, so welcome to my home. And this is where I've been for the last 25 years.
Oh,
Does that answer your question?
I'm very sorry to hear about your family's troubles.
Don't be. Wasn't your fault. But I appreciate it.
We've already paid for enough information to at least get details, correct? Even if we don't choose to
Absolutely.
hire you?
Sure.
What what exactly would we be getting into? I mean, I'm sure it's worse the farther we get into. How many packs and hordes do you typically see? Just trying to understand exactly, well, how soon we will likely die.
Well, I can tell you that the the northern top of the mountain range is the safest you'll be, and even then it's a little dangerous for normies like you. Just climbing wise, it's a bit of a strain. But that's where you'll find your most wildlife. You'll find the occasional mountain goat, maybe a mountain lion every so often. The closer you get to the citadel, the more the land itself seems to reject what it has done. You ever been or heard stories of the Hells?
I've read.
Imagine that a shiny castle from the Hells got brought here. Brimstone, ash in the air, the heat surrounding it getting intense. fiends and devils and demons and, I don't know, other things that go bump in the night constantly patrolling. I will say that if you're going from ground, you have an advantage. It's clear that they are not very well equipped to handle a land invasion. The spire's actual entrances are a solid 150 to 200 feet up. So it's a solid sheer climb upward. The entrances are large enough to allow their packs of winged demons to fly in and out as they wish. That's typically where they bring in some of their latest captures or quarry. The higher up you go, the smaller those alcoves become, but the closer you get to the big man upstairs. The outskirts of the citadel, I would say within about a mile, the heat and the ash and the smoke in the air gets intense. So you will need to prep some means of preventing sickness or ill effects from inhaling that much hellish air, whatever you want to call it. As for patrols, like I said, the majority of them are airborne. I would stick close to the shadows, as they do still occasionally make touchdown to the ground. But the ones I've seen are humanoid bat-like demons, glowing red eyes, leathery wings, clawed, dark gray, sometimes black fur. You sort of get the picture. And that's the gist of where you're headed.
Sounds lovely.
Hmm.
What took
And
you
I
exactly
don't
how
envy
close,
you.
Exactly how close did you get?
Within that mile.
And did you turn back?
Yeah. I wasn't about to go poking around, seeing how far I could get into the citadel. That wasn't going to happen.
And how long would the journey take? Approximately.
On foot, no experience with climbing. I'd say you're looking at about 10 days travel. If you push it, which I'm going to guess you're probably going to do, I'm going to say you'll probably shave about a day off of your travel. Any other questions before you go die?
$150 gold or a favor to hire your services?
Yeah. You hire me as a guide, I get you to the base of the citadel. You will not see me climbing inside. I'm not that crazy. Unless you want to double the offer, in which case, sure, I'll be attached to your hip. Even if it means the end of my life, I will go into the afterlife knowing you are going to pay me 300 gold for the venture.
Well, we'll see what happens once we make it to the base, I think. Let's not put the cart up before the horse.
Hmm.
I mean,
How
like
many
you
is
said,
your
we
party?
can- 6. As I'm counting.
Yeah, like
1, 2, 3.
Hang on a sec. Oh, myself. That's right. 7.
It's a little heavy for a hunting party, but it's doable. At least to get there. I mean, What happens next? That's up to you, but the offer's on the table.
How much do you have?
He could be acquired, but perhaps we should check with the
We should
rest of the
check.
party first.
Oh, yeah. It's fair.
I'll be here.
How much is an
Thank
ale in
you.
this place?
A silver.
Before we head back out, I'll just fish out, I don't know, 5 silver and just leave that on the table.
The elf looks down and looks back up. Did you want a do you want an ale? Do you
No, just in
whiskey?
advance for his.
Oh, and you see Kalen kind of smirks. Free drinks on top of that. I like this meeting. And the elf picks up the silver and whisks it away in his behind the counter.
I will head to the rest of the group.
All right.
How'd it go?
Fairly well.
Interesting demeanor.
What did he say?
Well, I mean, he was quite forthcoming, I think.
Yes, he's quite sure that we're going to die.
Yeah. He listed a lot of different ways that we're probably going to die.
Great.
But on the plus side, specifics are good. So, yes, hazards to avoid or that we're going to have to push through. He offered his services as a guide for 150 gold. Or a favor to be collected upon us not dying.
He's so sure that we'll die, and yet he still offers his services as a guide.
I sensed a certain
Fatalism.
recklessness. Yeah.
Fatalism, yeah.
I look to Boykin and say, "Are all of your kin insane?"
Mostly, but in the best sort of way.
Adds that to the notes about dwarves.
Insane.
Okay.
Very well
No,
then.
I don't really know this particular dwarf, to be completely honest. However, judging by the surroundings and this place, it sounds like he may have come upon some rough times, as it were.
Oh.
So maybe he's just reckless because he has nothing left, or he thinks he has nothing left. I would be willing to offer whatever gold is needed, and I would be willing to talk to the powers that be to reinstate their name, because this is a dangerous mission. And if he does come and help us, I mean, I think that's honorable enough to restore their name.
Does your word carry that kind of weight?
I believe so. Cujo, can I roll an insight check on that? I'm assuming so since I'm a hammer throw.
I'll say make a history check with advantage.
Need to have a conversation about your family.
17.
With a 17, you know that a lot of the big moves that has happened within the Dwarven Kingdom, whether it was supporting the refugee camp, shifting what their focuses were with supplies or mining or anything like that, the Hammer Throw name is rather large in sort of contributing to the decision making. So you're pretty confident that if you were to put forward a possible reparation to fix this dwarf's legacy, that it would be carried with some weight.
I do believe I could. Yes, at least they would listen to what I have to say.
We didn't mention that the person we were rescuing was a hammer throw. And at the mention of honor, he did seem to scoff. So, something to bear in mind if we should hire him and you begin to interact.
I'm assuming we'll probably interact.
Is that like is that code for something?
What I'm saying?
No, what he said.
No, that's yeah. Ugh. No, it's just it's just one of those things that he's going to be traveling with us. I don't know if he knows my face or name or what, but it is what it is at this point.
Well,
I
I
suspect we'll
trust
find
we're
out
about
very
to find
soon.
out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we can hire him and, well, I suppose the favor will be on top if we do come back.
Mm-hmm.
And how far is he going to lead us?
He said he'll lead us to the base.
But for double the price, you would continue on with us. I suppose it remains to be
We had
seen if
double
he's
that
valuable
price.
enough.
Not right now. At least not on me. I feel like that's something we could negotiate once we get there.
Negotiations on the road. That won't end well at all.
Well, none of this will end well at all, so.
I will contribute 130 of my own gold if needed, plus the plus the actual what's the word I'm looking for? I guess for me to represent him and speak well of him and try to bring back his family's honor.
I can support the difference.
I just
Just to
want to.
be clear, are we saying we're paying the 150 for initial support, or are we aiming for the 300 for the full journey?
Into the
Unknown.
cast. Yeah. To be fair, he did say that he himself has not gone all the way.
Only about a mile or so out is the closest he himself has gone.
Well,
I mean,
we'll see how good he really is, and if 150 to get to the base of the tower is all we can spare, then so be it.
yeah.
Right?
I would imagine. I wonder if we can offer him the 150 and then I don't want to call it a pardon because I'm not fully sure if they'll go for it. However, just I guess representation on our part or on my part for him.
I mean, we can certainly offer it. I don't know if it will be relevant until we return. Can't take advantage of a pardon if you're dead. Although, to be fair, if he still has family.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, well, we wanted to get on the road today, and honestly, I feel like we don't do that soon, he may have spent all that silver on ale. So
Chio, do you want to go relay to him the good news?
Hold out her hand for the money.
I hand you 130.
Which leaves 20 gold from me,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Done.
All right. So head back inside, and no words or anything. Essentially, just like take the bag and set it in front of him as he's drinking.
He's like mid-drink, and then glances up at you. You being a person of honor, I don't need to count this, do I?
I would not be offended. You don't know me, but you're welcome to.
Nah, I'll take the bag. All right. Well, just so happens I'm already wearing my gear. So, I assume you guys are ready to leave today?
The sooner the better.
Good. He pounds the rest of his ale and just puts the tankard on the bar and kind of waves the elf. Says, take care, Kalen. Picks up the tankard and starts immediately rinsing and trying to clean it. Kalen sort of steps through the door before Chio and comes upon all of you. Wow. All right. It's gonna be fun. You all ready to depart, I take it?
I immediately mount up on Coco.
He eyes the axe beak, and Coco kind of glares right back, and he kind of goes, and he just starts walking towards the edge of the.
If he approaches Coco at all, Coco probably snaps at him.
He doesn't approach. He just regards from his position at the door. But he just turns and starts heading towards the edge of the camp.
Okay. How many of these not horses did we get? We got 3 not horses.
Great.
Okay.
I like not horses.
So I can take. Can you?
I can walk.
I can
also-
also walk.
You can walk a little faster. You know what size is your steed?
I mean, I'm gonna need 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, but I assume that's what your plan was.
Yeah, I mean, I can at least until we get into the mountains, and it might be an issue with vertical goat
I
climbing.
have a feeling we're gonna have to walk anyway.
Not if
Yeah.
you get a Pegasus.
Well, you know what?
That takes a
Again,
little
the
bit
level,
longer.
like we were saying, 1 to 2
Sorry,
levels.
Rhodes. When we went through our starting equipment, I could only afford an axe beak. I couldn't afford
Yeah.
a Pegasus.
I'm not
Jesus.
quite at the point where I can just like call one of those yet. I'm working on it. Don't worry, I swear one of these days it's gonna show up. It's let me bring it up really quick. It is large size.
I'm wondering if you can take.
I can probably take me plus somebody else, I'm guessing.
I could take.
I don't know if can I do 2 medium-sized creatures on a large, or is it medium plus small?
Medium plus small. You could do 2 mediums. It is going to put strain
Yeah.
on the machination.
Okay.
What about a non-machination?
Non-machination, that's not a problem. Rusted metal. They
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of made
no.
what they made do with what they could.
That's not. Yeah, that's okay. I'm thinking more for malice.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
I can. I mean, I can
Mediums.
take whoever. I can take whoever. We can alternate. It really doesn't matter.
At least to get us there, we're still quite
Yeah. It's
What's his Kalen have a steed?
I
Um,
he we didn't ask, he didn't say, and honestly, if he does, I'm sure we'll find out.
Like, I assume we're all literally like
We're just
we're
like,
all standing there like, wait, if you go on this one, and then you on this one, and then we do this, and then she just
You
kind
see-
of
he's gone. He's
he's
gone.
like a solid 40 feet up, and then turns and just like leans against one of the buildings and starts like flicking one of the coins.
We can have this conversation as we.
Yeah.
Seating arrangements, always a hassle.
I will say, as you guys do follow him towards the edge of town, you do come upon about half a mile or so outside the refugee camp. There is a very small, sort of haphazard hut slash tent with a little bit of an open fence around it, and peeking through this tent, you can see a little snout as Kalen approaches, and sort of pushing through the flaps of the tent, you see a large wolf head that sort of turns and you can see it's got several claw marks going across one side of his face. You see his fur is patchy and rough. You can look and see that his paws, he's like a ashen gray white wolf. His paws are dirty, and you can see some very clear stains along the claws that are sharpened and extended. And as Kalen approaches, he just whistles, and the wolf sort of slowly trots over to him, and he opens the fence, and the wolf greets him with a few licks across his face. All right. We have company this time. As the wolf sort of circles around him, muted but excited, he does turn and glance at your group, and the wolf's eyes fix upon Coco. And Coco, for a moment, stops moving. And you can tell Coco is staring right the fuck back at this wolf. And Kalen, as this moment happens, just kind of goes, cool, makes this easier. And he just starts putting a saddle over the back of the wolf and starts tying everything together.
Jesus.
Eventually, he does mount the wolf, which is basically like a half step under Warg in terms of size. And then just looks back up.
Is it a dire wolf or is it a winter wolf?
It is. That is a wonderful question. I had dire wolf in my head.
I mean, a winter wolf is about the same size, but it's a monstrosity. A dire wolf is a beast.
He is riding a winter wolf.
Sweet.
You can see its ice blue eyes, just again intensely fixed on Coco, before he feels Kalen mount up on the saddle. And Kalen says, just a word of warning. Any meats might need to keep at a little bit of a distance just to be on the safe side. He says it with a smirk.
I'm surprised you were able to tame such a creature.
I should say the same about you. Anyway, he gestures in the saddle, and the wolf tears its gaze away from Coco and starts trotting along the path. I will say again, for the sake of time, I will need someone in the group to roll a d20.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yes.
All right. Why are you not playing? It said play. Why are you not doing it? There it goes.
That's a 10.
Sorry. Okay. A 10? Okay.
Yeah.
The first day of travel is strained, but you make it through. This part of the journey, since it is that first day, is taking you into essentially the actual mountain range itself, separate from Falcon Haven. I'll say if anybody wants to gather supplies or food or go hunting, you do have an ample opportunity, as Kaylin does advise that this is a pretty solid hunting ground if anybody does need.
Like to more gather, look for plants, berries, any herbs that can be used to make any kind of healing type materials.
Okay. Make a survival check.
"22.
Nice. With a 22, you looking through these small shrubs and plants that are sort of along the travel, you can spot a couple of useful herbs. You gather, I'll say 5 in total. This specific type of herb, when brewed in a potion, or excuse me, when brewed with some other ingredients, typically just I'm using video game logic here. The magical herb is the one that you found. The other shit you just have. If you take some time, you can brew a basic health potion. I will say for a flavor thing, it's a little thicker and a little bit more syrupy, so it might not be most. Sam, I see the frown forming behind your hands. So it might not be the most pleasing taste by any means, as you're not only getting syrupy, you're getting herby texture, some dust. It's just, there's a lot happening, but it will function as a basic health potion.
Is it 5 bushels to one one health potion? Or
I will say it is going to be 2 bushels to one
Okay.
health potion.
Okay. I'm just gonna put a note. Potion. Okay. Wonderful. And what's your take on actually making the potions, time wise, rolling wise?
It would require a. That is, I think, brewing is a proficiency, but I know that that's not the intended.
I have an herbalism kit. I am
You have an
proficient
herbalism
with
kit.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say you would roll an intelligence check with your proficiency bonus. As for time, I'll say it would take an hour to brew it together. It doesn't take
Okay.
that long to.
Okay, so it's something that can be done at night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
if you make camp, you can.
as we're making camp. That's the only thing I
Absolutely.
was wondering, or if it was you make it now and it kind of has to just stew in your flask.
Yeah, I will say, if you are brewing this yourself, the DC for a basic health potion is 15. If you get below, the ingredients that are used are used. It whatever magical healing properties are lost if the potion is not brewed correctly. You can still drink it.
It's just gonna be a syrupy,
It's just
herby,
gonna,
kind of
yeah,
sandy mess. Wonderful.
yeah.
I'll probably end
Ooh,
up.
I always
So-
wanted to drink branches and dirt and maple syrup.
Yeah. I will likely ask for assistance in doing this, particularly in things like someone to help kind of measure, cut all of that while I combine.
All right, who do you ask?
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
I can certainly help.
Wait, what are you?
Healing potions.
Do you have proficiency in?
I do.
Well, what tools are you using?
Herbalism kit.
Hmm. Yeah, it'd be less helpful.
Yeah. Okay.
Surprise, surprise, says Kalen as he drinks from his water skin.
Well,
Well, it has an herbalism
alchemy
kit
is a
too, for
little
some
bit
reason,
different than herbalism.
and I'm not proficient, so she'll give you her kit as well
Oh,
because
good. Extra base materials in case these ones are wasted.
yeah.
Replacement materials. It's fine.
I'm not sure how. I
Um,
think I clicked the wrong thing when I was doing my starting equipment because it should have been Tinker's tools. It's like I fixed it, but like, I don't really know how to use this, but you can have it.
Are you sure this is this something you need? Is it something from your grandmother?
Well, no, I mean, it was just an extra one we had at home,
Hmm.
and it somehow ended up in my bag. I don't really know what to do with it. I'm better with these. And she holds up her
Yeah.
little like screwdriver and whatever she's tinkering with at the moment. She's still trying to make that dancing sunflower work.
We will. Well, we will. I think we will certainly be able to make good use of it. We'll have to thank your grandmother when we see her at some point. All right.
All right, so with Arsinoe's help, go
Mhm.
ahead and roll with advantage.
Oh,
And guidance.
And emboldening bond.
And emboldening bond. No, just guidance.
okay. Yeah. Really glad. Thank you for your help, Arsinoe.
Mm-hmm.
Really much appreciated. Okay, so that is reverse math. 22.
Reverse math. With a 22, you construct a basic healing potion.
Wonderful.
You can tell the last sort of telltale sign that it is complete is that it gives off a little bit of a glow in the red liquid that sort of seeps from the root. Well done.
Can I make a tinkering check to see if I get my dancing sunflower working just as an around the fire thing?
Yes, go ahead and make me a tinkering check.
This is all happening after we make camp for the night, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
12 this time.
You said 12?
Mm-hmm.
You make the sunflower, and it does do the animation, but it's still a little on the stiff side. And you know that with a little bit more work, you can have it actually move a little bit smoother as you do the hula to make it do the hula dance.
What?
Dancing groundhog from Caddyshack. CGI'd baby Groot dancing.
Yeah.
The two options.
One or the other, but not both.
It's fine. I'll very happily show Malice that I got it at least working.
Yeah, Malice, you can see this slightly moving sunflower.
It's a work in progress.
How do you make it move?
That's the secret.
Yeah, it's always moving.
Do you wanna keep working on it?
Yeah, I think so.
Just kind of hand it back. She'll give it a little tap, just like a little.
It kind of creaks a little bit, but it does do the movement.
Project.
It's very good.
Well, when I'm done with it, it can give you company.
Well, I will very much appreciate the company. It gets it can be quite lonely sometimes on watch.
Hopefully it's not as exciting as before we got on the ship.
Somehow
All
I think
right.
it probably will be. Healing potion.
Cujo,
Yeah.
while the rest of them are doing all of that, once camp is set up, I'm actually gonna go out into the wilderness, do some scouting and hunting of my own.
Okay. Make me a survival check.
16.
16. With a 16, you do come upon a mountain goat that looks
Okay.
like at this time of the night is starting to kind of nest for the night.
Okay.
So it is. It doesn't seem to have noticed you. I will say if you are hoping to hunt it, I will need a stealth check to approach.
Okay. For the moment, I'd like to just track it to see if it's just a solitary goat or if it is going to be linking up with the rest of a herd or other group.
Make a perception check.
17.
With a 17, you do eventually see that it does move with two other mountain goats. It's not a very large pack, but it is a group of three of them. It does take a little bit to allow it time to do so,
Mhm.
but you do see it does reunite with two other goats.
Okay. I am gonna go. So at this point, I will begin hunting them.
Okay.
So I will roll that stealth check.
Okay.
And as I kind of get into position to ambush them, I am going to shift into my hybrid form
Okay.
and activate.
Deadly strike.
I am going to activate a Crimson Right.
Sounds good. Okay.
That is a 15.
Okay. With a 15, the goats do not notice you as you approach.
Okay.
Did you mark off your HP loss for your Crimson Right?
No, I have not rolled that yet.
Got it.
That is 1. Thank God.
Nice.
All right, and that is going to be it'll be lightning damage.
Okay.
I don't want a torch to give away my position.
Sounds good. All right.
And then when I make my attack, I am going to only need to be 90 feet away. And I am going to use my charger ability that I am going to run up 80 feet, and with a 15-foot reach on my glaive, I am going to make an attack against one of them.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
That was 16 on the die, plus a bunch.
Yeah, that'll do it. Go ahead and roll your damage just for fun.
Uh, Almost minimum damage. One above minimum damage, which is still 8.
All right. Let me check the HP for a
For a
mountain
goat.
Hey, D&D Beyond, do you have... Oh, you do have... Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's double its hit points.
Cool.
You strike out and feel the purchase of your glaive piercing through its flesh, and then the electricity coursing through it, and it immediately goes limp. The edge of the blade. The other two goats take off. Running.
Sweet. As my reaction, I'm going to make an attack of opportunity against the second
Go
one.
ahead. Yep. I feel dirty.
Ooh, this one's... if you're using just the regular goat stats, then it hits. That is a 12.
Yep,
No,
that'll
14.
hit.
14.
That'll still hit.
Right. That was a lot better. 16.
With a 6... Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's a D10 plus a D6. Plus 5.
With a 16, again, you strike out at the second goat, and with the lethality of the blade piercing its flesh, and the lightning energy that courses through it, you kill it, but you know you fucked up that body. It part of it explodes from the sheer force behind it. Basically, the entire back half just blows out.
That's okay.
Bugbears.
Yeah, I am going to I'm gonna collect whatever goat bits I can from the second one, and I am going to carry what I can of the two carcasses back to camp to be cleaned, and I will the more intact one I will set to cook for the 7 of us, and then the other half of one I will not cook and feed to the to Coco and the wolf.
Okay.
And obviously, if there's any of the first goat left over, after it's cut up and cleaned, I feed whatever. There will be no leftovers.
As you present the second goat bits to Coco and the wolf,
I don't get very close to Coco. I literally just start tossing scraps to her.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm not dumb.
Good.
I've trained Coco to take your hand.
Good. Coco accepts the meat without much issue, and Kaelin, who is sort of laying down or leaning against the belly of the wolf, who is sort of curled against Kaelin, almost in a sort of protector mode, eyes you as you're tossing food to Coco.
I'll call to Kaelin and say, will your beast want any of this?
Yeah, I'd be stupid not to.
I start tossing scraps from like 10 or 15 feet away.
It's a good call, because for a hot second, he was watching, and then you just saw this string of drool plop onto the ground.
Well, I was kind of like saying that so that Kaelin could, get off his ass and take it from me and feed his own damn animal. But since that obviously isn't happening, then I'm gonna earn brownie points with the wolf.
You toss the pieces of meat to the wolf, who eagerly leans down and starts lapping up and sort of meat chewing loudly in the camp as he enjoys the pieces of meat being thrown to him.
Cool.
I can share videos of my dog doing that. It's really weird. You get used to it.
Oh, Spencer has thoroughly enjoyed the food that you got for us.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Coco
But-
gets the head.
Sounds good.
Brains are the good
Coco,
bit.
yeah. Coco
Eyeballs.
enjoys the extra treat that you present. See, it's okay to narrate it because you're like, okay, I know the words, I know that this is the thing, but when you actually think about it, it's like, ugh.
Probably eats the tongue too.
Yeah. Well, and that's how axe beaks sharpen their beaks. They sharpen them on the bones of their prey. So when Coco like throws its head down to bust open the skull, that's actually helping her keep her beak sharp.
You should
Yeah.
collect some bones so you can compare the axe beak marks versus actual tool marks on the bone.
Yeah.
Anyway, the night passes without incident, so you guys do get another long rest. I will need somebody to roll a d20.
Fine.
16.
Oh, she did.
16.
Good. I'm not responsible.
With a 16, the next day's travel actually goes really well. You guys get into a good rhythm, a good pace, and you shave I'll say you shave a full day off of your travel time. You guys do very, very well. The trek is starting to get a little bit more arduous now, as it is clear that you are now starting to get vertical into the mountain range itself. You can hear the occasional bird overhead, as you could hear just now. And you're still in a good spot for foraging, hunting, that sort of thing. Kaylin does advise that going forward past this point, that's going to come in less frequent times.
At this point, then, anytime we stop for any reason, like to do short rests or lunch breaks, I am going to be spending that time out hunting.
Okay. Just for sake of time, just make me a survival check. This will essentially account for the full action of hunting animals. The whole animal murder,
Oh,
Why
as
that's not
Peter
good.
would say.
That's a 9.
The 9, you managed to come back with a couple of ferrets, like smaller
Small
game.
game.
But it's not the big game that you had just previously gotten, so
Yeah.
it doesn't last as long.
And I'm not trying to save any of it. Like, anytime we have an opportunity for good food that we don't have to rely on magic or rations is, what the goal is.
Okay. All right. Malice, did you want to continue searching as well for herbs?
I think so. At least until a point at which, if it's noticeable yet, I don't know, but if she'll pay attention to, I think, the land, and if that's starting to change. So is plant life starting to look more sickly? Is it starting to have that kind of coating of ash, or just to indicate that we're getting into a zone where things are probably going to either be not very healthy or are going to have already kind of withered and died.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a survival check.
Okay. that is not good. 6.
With
You're
a
done.
6, you do find, unfortunately, it is sort of sparse, the usable plants, but you do find 1 bushel of
Mhm,
an herb that you could use. This is not an herb that you would use for healing.
mhm.
This is one to resist the effects of poison. Similar idea, except this one only requires 1 bushel to make.
Mhm.
So you could spend that night to make a antidote to poison. Mechanically, it will give advantage on the Constitution saving throw to get rid of the effects of poison. It doesn't just magically do the thing. That's what restoration spells are for. But in addition, you can start. It's slight at first, but the wildlife and the nature around you, as you continue to venture forward, is slightly starting to look a little bit more gray, and not as full of life. You can tell that that's not just based on the fact that you're venturing into mountains. There's a little bit more at work here, and from what Kaylin has told you, it's reasonable to assume that the
It
closer
gets
you start
worse.
getting, it's going to get worse.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
think
yeah.
I will most certainly take the time to brew up a potion for that
Okay.
that night, and I think I actually have other herbs that are similar, but not enough for everyone. So,
Okay.
yes, I will do that over at that night, and I will probably help corral our Sinoways help again.
Sounds good. I'll say again, just to kind of keep it as a
Yep.
solid check, you and Arsenaway work together to make a antidote. You're good.
And
Flit, did you want to try another tinkering check to get your sunflower to dance?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a tinkering check. Chio and Boykin, I'm coming to you next.
okay.
It's good. 1925.
25. You realized as you're continuing to make this dancing sunflower that maybe some of the joints just need to be cleaned. So you actually spend enough time to take it apart and rub all of the rust off of the pieces of metal that you're making this out of, and successfully put it back together and see that it is moving like exactly what you wanted it to. It's
Yay!
got the full dance moves. And there is no squeaking, there's no grinding. It's well made.
This time she will give it to Malice.
Oh,
And I know you like flowers.
I do.
Uh,
She looks like she's gonna cry.
you can't make potions with this one, but it's just a little cheery.
You know what? I don't think I need to make a potion with this one to feel a little bit better. Just have to kind of spend a little time with it.
If it gets squeaky again, I can clean it.
I'll make sure to let you know. Thank you. Just like crouch down and like give her a hug.
She hugs her back.
Or bun a squeeze.
One of my gnome buns.
Yeah, one of your fun buns. And it's gonna sit, and she's gonna take this flower, and it's gonna sit next to her the whole night.
Aww. All right. Chio, what are you up to?
She wants to get an idea of. I mean, you already said that, like, things are starting to look a little bit more gray, but she's trying to get an idea of what has been through here lately. Like, has it just been relatively native creatures through here, or are they like, no, that looks like that's probably the footprint of some, like, weird demonic shit?
Make an investigation check. Bless you.
not the one that I can get advantage on. Fine.
Okay, well, I need you to change your tone.
Whatever. Fuck you, dice. 11.
11. Okay. With an 11, you're getting a lot of different tracks. You're getting some that could be mountain goat, one that could be a rabbit, one that could be a human. I mean, there's a lot of disturbance amongst the ground that it's difficult to tell exactly what has frequented the area that you're in. Unfortunately, you don't get a whole lot. I do apologize.
It's okay. It's the dice's fault.
Yeah, it's stupid dice. All right, Boykin.
So along this journey so far, Boykin would probably just kind of generally help around camp, whether it's like helping kind of help cook up food or serve out food, or if he wasn't doing that or during a rest, he would be kind of acting as like a sentry, just kind of keeping an eye out, seeing if there's any potential incoming threats. He would try to see if there was any tracks that would pertain to maybe something like a fiend or something to that effect, as described um, previously. But so yeah, that's what Boykin would be doing.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
19.
19. With a 19, you can spot as you are traveling, basically at the top of various small hills or rocky bits that sort of jut out from the mountain, you can spot claw marks, almost as if something had either landed or possibly taken flight from that position. Deep claw marks. As you are keeping a weather eye at this point in the journey, you start to get this sense about your position, almost as if your senses are telling you that this is going to be your last moment to feel safe. Almost like you can look forward and see that your path is going to be clouded and it's going to be difficult. Yeah, you definitely can sort of piece together in your mind what this beast was described to you as, with clawed feet, almost talons, and you sort of look at these claw marks that you've passed by a handful of times, and it's possible that these creatures typically do or have been in this area before.
Okay. I would point those out to the group as we're going along, or as I notice them. Just so, kind of keep that communication up.
Kalen would respond with, "Oh, you mean demons are in the valley? No way. Who
Yeah,
knew?
looks like fiends. Yeah,
Hmm.
some sort. Yeah, or demons.
Surprised he has the eyes to be able to identify that. Surprising."
All right.
Surprising, he's the one who found them when you're the one being paid to find them.
No. I'm the one being paid to lead you to the tower. What you find along the way is up to you. I've seen this shit already.
Clearly,
Oh,
we
well,
haven't. So
good for you.
perhaps shouldn't be so rude all the time. We are paying
I'm
you
not
to
being
do a
rude.
job.
Hey, that's true. I never said my customer service was the best.
True, we didn't actually ask about that part.
Not part of the arrangement. You want me to be nice about things that would have cost you extra.
Well, if you're not going to be helpful aside from leading us. We don't really need you to talk for that purpose. So if all you're going to do is say rude things to people, then maybe you should keep to yourself.
Suit yourself.
So yeah, there were claw marks.
Oh my god, I feel like is there a spell that you have to like stick people to like something so they can all play nice?
I have a lot of spells that do a lot of things.
Elmer's glue spell.
Zone of truth, everyone.
I mean, I have a magical.
Today.
I do have a magical hand. I could just give somebody that needs it a little bit of a whack.
No, not. That's actually the opposite.
I could ask.
Mm,
Let's
I mean,
try
I'm
and
somewhat
avoid
tempted to say yes just because I
keeping-
want to know what he'd say.
Let's try and avoid inviting him.
It's too late. She's already asking him inside her head.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shit.
It's fine.
Mr. Kafka, how would you make these people get along? This guy's kind of rude.
Well, I just so happen to know one lovely little spell. I will say, it may have some side effects. I could
You know-
grant it to you for use in this one instance. I don't know that it would accomplish the goal, but it would certainly bring them together.
Sounds
What does
bad.
it do?
It brings them together.
It could be worth a try.
Do you
It's always
accept?
best to bring people together.
Of course. You ready?
We're
Uh-huh.
gonna have a conversation about
What is the highest level slot you have available?
4th.
Okay. I'd like you to mark off the 4th spell slot. I would
Yeah.
also like you to roll on the wild magic table as a surge triggers from this.
Okay. Oh my god, I do 100. 33.
Okay. With a 33. Okay. With a 33, after this energy leaves your body, you feel this surge of energy within you. Almost like you know that if you were to cast a damaging spell, that it would be the most possible damage that you could do with it. You just feel it's like a shot of adrenaline straight into your system that you just feel like you're buzzing a little bit.
Is there any wildlife around for us to hunt at the moment?
Oh, did you drink coffee?
High or
Maybe a
low?
little.
Hi.
There is a hawk overhead that you
Oh,
can hear.
no.
What you doing?
Eldritch Blast.
Okay. I need you to roll an attack.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's now a thing.
19.
19 will hit. What is the damage on Eldritch Blast?
I think it's 2 beams. It's
Yeah.
2 beams at 5th level. So do I count like
Yep.
my entire level or just the warlock level?
I think it's character because it's a cantrip. It's character level. So yeah.
Okay, so the first one is 19, and the second one is 23. And it's a
What
1d10.
All right. You look up and fire 2 blasts, and the first one collides in the center of this hawk. And the second and just knocks it out of the air, and just as it starts to plummet, the second one lands, and you just see this explosion of feathers and meat and arcane energy. You just dealt 20 points of damage to that hawk, as it just maximized the damage.
Mr. Anolphus, something's coming down for Coco if she's hungry.
As you say that,
Persona's immediately
Boykin?
looking in the air, like
Yeah,
immediately looking
just like
to
get up,
see if
just
we were
like,
told. Like,
yeah, okay, let's get the shield out, get the sword out now.
Boykin and Kaylin both need to make Constitution saving throws.
oh no.
He said it
Actually,
would bring them
let me
together.
rephrase: a Strength saving throw.
Oh, shit. It's
You
gonna
should be
make them
good at
get along.
those.
Oh, thank God. 22.
Okay, Boykin, you feel this otherworldly tug that at first you kind of have to steel yourself as for a second you're pulled towards Kaylin before you grind your boots into the ground. And you stop yourself from moving. Which then puts all of the force on Kaylin as he gets swept off of his feet and rockets towards you from some pull. You are both going to take... let's see.
He said it would
You're
help
both
bring
going
them
to take
together.
8 points of bludgeoning damage as his center of gravity collides with yours, and you're literally stuck together by some strange arcane energy. You just hear a as he collides with you.
Oh, what the hell was that?
God!
Get off of me. Get
That was a rip. I can't.
Get off.
Get your hands off of me.
You're in my hands. Get off of me.
Okay, do I look like I want to be in your hands right now?
I don't know. Do you? You're the one that came over here.
As you push, you get a little bit of like distance, and then like a magnet, he like rotates around, so now he's stuck to your side.
Get.
Okay. What happened? What is this?
He said it would
I
help
don't-
bring
I
you
don't
together
know.
so you can get along.
Who's he?
Mr. Kafka, he gave me my coat.
Oh,
Oh.
did you say Kafka?
Immediately glare in your direction.
She's not
And
even paying
as-
attention to you.
You know what?
As you all turn, you can hear
Mm-hmm.
and a
Oh,
screech
Yeah.
echo through the air as multiple bats of wings are heard in the skies above. And Boykin, actually, I'll say everybody can look up and see 3 huge gray, dark-skinned, with a little bit of fur sort of around their neck and shoulders, demonic creatures land on the sort of roughly hewn path, both in front of and behind you. One of which lands about 50 feet up on the wall of the trail that you guys are on. Their large wings sort of flap and then settle as they just look down, their eyes glowing. You can see as they stare down at all of you. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
God damn it.
What? Why?
God
Oh, that's
damn
so
it.
That's so funny.
Everything was going so well.
I don't
Oh,
have a problem
stupid.
with this at all.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
Just pardon me while I make a note.
You can't even
Not-
pact with a chaos deity. Like,
also
what
he's
did
not.
you
It's not like
expect?
he's wrong, nor did he lie.
Kaylin are
they're-
stuck together.
Oh, he's
for
stuck
this
together for combat! No!
How is this combat even going to work? This is ridiculous.
They're gonna have to work
It's going to be
together.
great.
Yeah. We're all in this
Yeah.
together.
I'm definitely going to have to come
No.
up with a Hero Forge setup of Kaylin and Boykin stuck in the same square together.
We can do that.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
you
can.
can do that.
We can do that.
Oh, well,
Uh,
to
does it-
everybody,
Does
What's up,
emboldening
Sam?
bond? Does emboldening bond count as 1?
No, it does. They does still count them as separate creatures. They are just stuck
Damn.
together for who knows how long.
Shit.
Oh,
I don't know. That was a fifth level slot,
4th.
4th level slot. That's a 4th level spell.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
Got nothing. Sorry, guys. You're stuck like that.
bathroom breaks are going to be real awkward.
Well, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, not sorry.
To everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. We are. I don't know what the plan's actually going to be because I know Sam and Dustin are going to be out. I believe next week. And the week after, or just next week?
Just next week.
Okay. So next week it might be a random one shot. We will see what happens. Maybe we can convince somebody to try D&D for the first time. We'll see though. But in the meantime, be nice to each other. We will see you guys later and have a wonderful evening. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.